Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Reese, and welcome back to the Minecraft 2025 Let's Play Adventure, where hopefully you enjoyed last night's live stream. Assuming it happened, I'm recording this one in advance, because I wanted to make sure I had a video ready to go today, in the morning, Saturday, November 1st. Oh my gosh, there's only 2 months left! That's wackadoodle! However, I wasn't sure how late the live stream was going to go yesterday. Did it go? Did we go live? Deadbolt, do you know? Can you see the future? Or, I mean, at this point for us now, it's the past. But not for us in this moment. Hopefully it went off without a hitch and you folks all joined in and enjoyed it. And we went to that ancient city, and we found cool loot, and we didn't die or discover anything scary. That's what we're hoping for, at least. I hope that happened. Comment down below and let me know if it did or didn't. Or, I mean, I would have lived it by the time you're watching this. Actually, if you're a channel member or Patreon supporter, you're technically watching this before the live stream even comes out. So yeah, we're all at this moment unaware of the future. But hopefully it worked out! We'll know more in future installments, I guess. Or, I don't know, maybe I just stay a couple of days ahead. Maybe we'll know by the 7th or something. We're not going to be that far ahead. Let's not get silly with ourselves. But I figured since I don't know what the outcome of yesterday is going to end up being, what we would do today is just focus on the roof of the Nether. It's a miserable place, and they say it gets worse. You're bundled up now. Go drive a hearse. What I thought we'd do today is focus on kind of what we did around here and what we did around here, going around and just putting down some more grass around all of these, and maybe even working on the road a little bit. I've got some time right now. I thought, you know, I might be able to go collect some dirt and just finish fleshing out the road, because the road, as of this exact moment, is very narrow, and we need to have it at least 3 or 4 blocks wide. We haven't done that yet, but also, I was like, oh, you know what we could do is we could just, like, you know, surround one of these with the moss carpet and everything. That could be a fun little task that we could engage with. Or something that's gonna, you know, drive me bonkers at the end of the day. I don't know. I've got a YouTube video pulled up to watch so that I don't, you know, hopefully don't go crazy while I do this. What I don't want to have is like a perfect shape around all of these portals. Also, something I was thinking about was going ahead and getting rid of the walls and everything on all of these and sort of reshaping them to be more like this random portal here, where it's just the portal itself and the sign right out front. Because, technically, all of this is an area where a thing might still be able to spawn, you know, magma cubes and the like, and it's also just largely unnecessary. We're not doing it with future portals. But you know what? Maybe that's a project for the future. Let's not do any sort of demolition work today. Let's not destroy anything that already exists. Let's just focus on fleshing out what is already there. Because this isn't really going to impact that too much. If in the future we decide to come back out here and get rid of the wall and all of this red sand, that just means adding more moss blocks. These existing moss blocks aren't going to be in the way in any kind of fashion, so I think it's pretty safe to just go ahead and flesh these out. Now, something else I thought about doing was, because, you know, we sort of decided by the end of the year there's no possible way that we're going to be able to flesh this all out as much as I had wanted to in the original sort of design idea I had in my head, which was that we would have the entirety of the Nether roof, like all of this, at least, inside of grass. That's just gonna, or, I mean, I guess now moss. That's just gonna take so much time, and we simply don't have that much time. Just to place the blocks is gonna take ages. And I know that I could cheese a little bit, right? Like, because it's no longer the case that moss is hard to get. We can basically just generate an infinite amount of it. So does it really matter if we cheat it in? And what I'm saying is that we could absolutely just use something like, we could install World Edit, and we could just do that. But I don't really want to do that, because I think that takes away from the sort of challenge of it. And it takes away from being able to look at it all and say, hey, look, I did this by hand. Yes, I built a machine to generate the moss, but I placed each and every piece myself and thought the whole thing through and invested the time, the ridiculous, ludicrous amount of time that it's taken so far. Like, I did that. And I can't rightfully say that if I use something like world edit. So rather than attempt the impossible or cheese it, I don't want to say cheat, because is using world edit cheat? No, this isn't some sort of MLG playthrough, right? I'm not going for any sort of world records or anything. So with Minecraft, you can kind of play however you want to. You can play creative, you can play with world edit. There's no wrong way to do it, unless you're sort of violating the terms you set for yourself. And so the terms we set for ourselves was that we wouldn't use third-party tools to get new items. I'll happily cheese a machine that makes infinite moss, or build a contraption that helps you duplicate sand, because that's all in-engine. That's all things that can just be done in the game without modifications. Again, these are just my rules. I'm not saying you have to play Minecraft like this. We've had this discussion before. You play Minecraft however you want. These are just sort of the decisions I made for myself and for my playthrough, and I don't really want to violate those. So rather than try to accomplish something that I now realize is basically impossible without violating those rules that I made for myself, I was like, okay, well, what's a more simplified version of that? And that would be surrounding each and every one of these in moss, and then finishing the road and surrounding those in moss, and then that's going to be our big finish. And I thought about adding a fence, and the only issue there is that was concerning, wasn't it? The only issue with adding a fence is that in the future, if we decide to continue adding more and more moss, we'll have to relocate the fences. But at the same time, having, like, again, if we end up taking these walls down, and we end up taking out this red sand, having just some kind of fence, and we'd have to decide on sort of a standard for the entire roof of the Nether, I suppose, but having a fence just kind of like placed periodically maybe along the sides here to sort of shepherd the construct might not be a bad idea. And in fact, the more I talk about it, shepherding the construct, I just kind of said that doesn't really mean anything. I guess it does if it means something to you, if it sounded like it was real, you know? I might also need to do something about these pieces up here if we start having mob spawns, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I think I am going to go ahead and do this, because I think we've sort of gotten ourselves a bit of a plan for the future here now, and if I'm going to go around to all of these different little pods, you know, I talked a big game about not being destructive at the start of this, but if I'm going to go around and surround them with the moss blocks, I'm already going to be in the area, and if I've decided that we're not going to do these borders around them, we might as well go ahead and just, while we're in the area, pick them up and put down the moss. I think that makes all the sense in the world. I do want to be careful right here where this road is. We're going to leave the light sources down, and nothing spawned while we're standing right here. We'd need to be kind of standing near it, but not so near that we prevent mob spawns with our presence in order to determine really, truly whether or not it's going to be an issue. But yeah, see, so I think what I'm going to do today, I kind of want to also work on the road. And I guess I don't really have to decide on doing just one thing or the other. We obviously can't redesign all of these, or not redesign, but we can't go through and repair them all, fix them all, patch them all in today's video. It's simply a matter of not having enough time. With that said, however, we can just about certainly do these two and maybe finish the northern part of the road and also frame it up. How about we set that as our goal? So I'm gonna hush. I'm gonna shush. I'm going to stop talking, because otherwise, if I talk throughout this entire thing, it's gonna be a really long video without a lot of substance. Mostly just me yakking, and then you know, yakking can also be used to describe someone throwing up, or as they'd say in the UK, being sick. But it also means talking, and that's funny that word can be both. See, I'm doing it right now though. I'm yammering, I'm stammering, I'm talking. I need to not be talking right now. I need to just be getting on with it. So, done talking. Now, I was dumb, because that took all of 10 seconds. I might as well have just kept talking through that. One thing I did realize was that I probably am going to want to have dirt here. And so I'm going to pull all of this back to this point right here. And when we bring in some more dirt, we'll probably get rid of the sand here too, now that I think about it. Yeah. We'll have dirt path coming off of there and really not going to anywhere in particular. I'm sort of hesitant to bring this out any further because we'll start to encroach upon the dirt path. And I don't know if the path is going to be extended over here, or both. So what I'm going to do for right now is leave all of this behind, return the red sand and the redstone, or the red sandstone and the sandstone walls. We're going to take those back to the overworld, swap them out for maybe some containers full of dirt, And then we're going to return here, and like I said, we'll go work on that one, as well as widening the road between them and then back up to there. Look, I'm gonna make a dirt crate. Just gonna call it dirt. Doesn't need a fancy name. And we're gonna fill it with dirt, okay? And then we're actually gonna cheat a little bit. And we're gonna also put some grass in there, because we've got a lot of grass. So, there we have it. Grab a little extra too. But we don't want to have an inventory full of the stuff, because that can get a little annoying. Back we go. Oh. Hello. Sorry. Okay. This is going to be the sort of general design here. Pretty much the same as we did over there. There's little creatures over here, I've noticed. There's not just this little fella who's going to start freaking out as soon as we attack him. But right over here, I also saw a little piglin. And what's funny about it, I guess he's gone now. They're both little. Like, the piglin that was over here was a little piglin, and it's a little hog monster. I don't know what these things are actually called. Hoglins. Of course they're called hoglins. But, like, oh, jeez. No, I feel bad. I think I'm the bad guy. Just thought it was interesting that they're both miniature. And neither of them are going to be able to come back here anymore, because we're going to get rid of this. Although, no, yeah, I guess they would have had to spawn here. I was going to say, did they come through the portal? What, from the overworld? No. It kind of hurts a little bit getting rid of these, because, you know, we put a lot of effort into them, trying to come up with the, like, oh, we'll use the terracotta. I mean, these are all going to get reused in the future, right? All of these materials will eventually make their way into future projects. I was going to say products, but we're not that's not what this is. Projects is the correct word. Question now is, does it really make sense to have this not be more bendy right here, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't need to go out this far anymore for rotating, which makes me think now that I need to redo some of this. I'm just gonna, like, slowly widen it out, and then as we go, I will figure out kind of whether or not I like the shape that it's taken, and sort of trim it up as we go. You know, it'd be a lot better if you were hanging around where I, like, manufactured you and intended you to stay. I guess I'll go ahead and do this and have this connect up to the north-south road, I suppose. Okay, so here's the issue, is I've made the road back there quite a bit thicker than I did this one over here, and I'm worried it's going to require so much additional dirt, and I wanted to see if it was worth it. This road, even when I finished it, felt so narrow that I was like, man, I kind of wish I could do it again, you know? And just make it ever so slightly wider. Like this one I went for a 3x, and I think it's fine. I don't have any beef with it. I think it's perfectly acceptable. And I don't know, though. I just don't know whether or not it was the correct call. You'll see what I mean once we get over here, but it's pretty noticeably wider, as you can see. It's basically like there's very few segments that go straight on, but it's 5 wide instead of 3. Now I can trim the whole thing back down, and we'll save a lot of space, and I don't know what I was doing here. Don't know what was happening there, but the whole thing is about 5 wide, and I like it more. I definitely like it more, but is it too much dirt being used? Kind of all things considered. That's the concern that I have. But I would rather keep it like this. And the roads leading up to the portals are still 3 wide, because those don't need to be as big. Because you can imagine where there are a lot of people around here. There might be multiple people walking along this trail, but then there'd be fewer people turning off to go into the portals. The portal roads can be more narrow. Ugh. Even on the map, like, you look at this, and then you look at this, and it's like, that's a road there, baby. This is just like a child's plaything. I'm not going to redo this one to match this one, but should I trim this one to match this one if I like this more? I feel like probably not. Okay, I didn't need to fill in this center section, but at the same time, I felt like I needed to fill in this center section here, so I have no regrets. I'd do it again. Okay. This side of this segment is now finished, and I'm starting to realize, as often happens when I come here to do this, that, this is going to take longer than I realized. I've been at this for 57 minutes and 45 seconds, and I have to go soon. But I'm committed to at least getting something finished today. So if I can finish this side, and at least have the road from there to here finished. I mean, that's some small modicum of success. Pat myself on the back for. Okay. Alright. That's okay. It now, because it's so much wider, having such a small amount to the side doesn't really look right, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine down here. Well, even down here it looks a little bit wacky, but definitely need to fix this right here. That looks rough. Yeah. Sometimes, like, that little bit, yeah, is enough to take care of it. How much dirt do I have left? I actually brought a lot more than I needed, so maybe this isn't going to take as much more as I thought. But we're definitely going to be wrapping it up here. I'm going to progress a little bit more, but I'm not joking when I say I'm up against the wire here. Boom. Connected up to here now. Again, we just have so much more dirt. And just like that, somehow, we did it. We made the connection. And I say somehow as if it's some great feat. Well, no, I mean, I to some extent it is. Definitely thought we were gonna run out of dirt before now, but gosh darn it, here we are. Well, I guess if we're gonna do the thing, we might as well go ahead and do the thing and demo this wall as well. We are going to leave these in place, though. We're just gonna remove the dirt around them. Boom. Okay, so here's what we got. Here's what we're working with. By the way, that was officially all of the moss blocks that I had. I don't know why I have 24 moss carpet. I thought I had an even number of both, but apparently I must have been wrong, because I don't think I left any uncovered moss blocks anywhere unless I did, which is why I'm flying back this way to double check, like I didn't leave them immediately around this house or something. Aha! That makes sense! Here is the road. It's thickened up all the way from north to the crossroad here, which means that this is going to take about twice as long, because I'm pretty sure that this segment is twice as long as this segment, if I'm not mistaken. But we cleared away all of these sort of barriers around these, and yeah, like I said, we ran out of moss blocks, but pretty good headway on our goals. Till next time, thank you folks for watching, God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow, where hopefully we'll be doing something else. Because I'm tired of being up here, and I can't do multiple episodes in a row up here anymore, because I get sick of looking at the roof of the Nether. Bye!